Okay, so we are excited because we decided we're going to do seasons on our show. So we kind of closed the chapter of the first season, which was a little wacky and all over the place. We were learning our way and finding our footing. And this is officially season 2 of our podcast.
Very exciting.
So, we're excited. We're going to do a little social announcement, and that's it, season 2. So let's see what this new season brings. But today we wanted to talk about long-term relationships and what that means and like how you can stay in them. And, it's not really linear. It's kind of all over the place, just like our first season of our podcast. But there's like a lot of, I think, interesting storytelling that I've heard from people that are in long-term relationships and also, celebrity relationships that have lasted a really long time. Like, what is that secret sauce? What is it that they do that's different? Or is it just that the relationship's different? That's what we wanted to explore today. What do you think about it?
I think every relationship is obviously different, but there are definitely patterns. If you're looking at, a wide group of people, that commonalities is when you see people lasting a long time.
I feel like there's two different categories. There's the couples that, got together, and the minute they got together, you knew that it had an expiration date, right? Like there are those. And like we've seen that happen in our friend group. Then there are relationships that I feel like surprise you.
Yeah.
Like that either surprise you in the way that they're actually still together or that they broke up.
Well, I guess start from the beginning of the relationship, because I don't know if I was telling you about this. I had dinner with those guys the other night. These guys are in their mid-30s.
Oh, right. Weren't they looking, they're like trying to date.
Yeah, they're mid-30s, looking for love. I come in, it's the first time I met them in person, and I walk into a conversation relieved that it wasn't some like annoying, like surface level conversation. And they were talking about relationships. And I was like, well,
that's
unexpected.
So interesting.
And they're looking for love in the city. And one of them is kind of dating this girl. And he was saying, he's like, I don't know if I'll like get that spark. Yeah. And so it got me thinking, do you need to have that spark from the outset? Not necessarily love at first sight, but something that's that chemistry, or can that grow over time without being there?
I don't know. I mean, I only know from my experience, I feel like you kind of need the spark in the beginning. But like, I guess it depends on what you want. Like, do you want to have like a really, is it important to have like a really passionate relationship, or do you just like want to have fun with someone, or do you just want to like co-parent, but like be together? Like I feel like we know so many different people that are in relationships for a long time that like they all, I feel like, value different things. Like we have a couple friend that they have many children, and I feel like the husband is always complaining about the wife and about like the intimacy, and like we hear about it all the time. And so like you wonder, but it seems like it works. Like oddly, like they're a great match in other ways.
Yeah.
So it's like maybe the spark doesn't matter in that situation. Like it doesn't matter to them.
Then it goes to the question of quality versus quantity, because quantity being the length of time you're together, right? Where it's like, yeah, sure, something could work, but what level of happiness and fulfillment do you have in a relationship like that, where needs aren't being met, like intimacy or emotional connectivity, but it still works because you're good partners and you're friends and you have kids, and like the general vibe is fine. It's not like they're at each other's throats and fighting all the time, or
also, but maybe it's like maybe for that couple, it's worth them not having that all the time, because like they do other things that are great together. Like, I mean, it's not going to be perfect.
Well, yeah, I mean, no relationship, will ever be perfect. I think that's what makes it fun too. I mean, if things were perfect, it'd be pretty boring.
Yeah.
Other question, because I think I have an opinion on this, but if you're meeting somebody and getting married, where you first start dating them kind of in your mid to early 30s versus maybe in your 20s, does that change the values that you're looking for in a partner?
I think so.
In what way?
You're like,
What?
Well, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not like the core values. But I think for certain people, I feel like young people that get together most of the time don't think about, maybe they do, but like not so much about long term. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a trade-off though, I guess, where if you're getting married younger, and probably because there's a passion there, and you're not thinking about, okay,
Yeah.
what does that actually mean?
That's a good point,
Grow old
actually.
with somebody and raise a family.
That's
and
a good point.
Can we live together and not kill each other? Because when you have passion, that also breeds passion on the on the fighting side and the
Wait, that's a really good point. So that when you get together with someone when you're younger, it's more likely to be because you're not thinking about you're not like in your late 30s or whatever, and you're like, oh, I really want to, like, I need to settle down and the pressure, the societal pressure.
Yeah.
So you're not thinking about that. So you're more likely to be with someone for fun.
Yeah.
And that's what we talk about all the time, is like having fun. It's funny because we were talking about this the other day about like celebrity couples that you think are going to last. And I just feel like Taylor and Travis are going to last. And the reason I feel like they're going to last is because they have fun together. Like, I always see them having fun together. I feel like they're at concerts, they're at games, they're drinking wine, they invite their friends. Like, they seem to be laughing. I mean, obviously I'm not in their lives, so I don't know, but it just seems like they have fun. And I feel like a couple that has fun together, which maybe goes to that, like, when you're younger and you meet and it's based on passion and fun and like you're out at a club, whatever, and you're dancing and like that's the way that you connect. It's not like you're going into the relationship because you feel pressure.
Right. Or you need partnership because you feel like you're getting to a certain age where, the time is passing you by.
Pressure.
But therein lies the danger, because for couples whose relationship started with that fun, and I am making a generalization, but I have a lot of friends who got married younger, and the wives kind of lose the interest to have fun.
Yeah, but that's weird.
Right. But I think that's the danger, is that when it's built on that kind of fun and one partner no longer wants that.
No, I actually disagree with you. I don't think that the relationships you're talking about were built on fun. I think those relationships were like, some of them I think that you're talking about, some of those relationships I feel like were built on like settling down, because like this was the college sweetheart and this is what you do after college. And like, that's a very, I think, millennial thing to do. It's like I have so many friends that like stuck with their person from college. It's like, where am I going to meet someone after college? So you just stay in that relationship, and it's actually not built on like spontaneous fun.
That's true. All right. I agree with that.
You know what I mean?
It's so interesting looking back to those days post-college and realizing how young we all were. But for some people, it didn't feel like that, and there was that pressure. And I remember some of our friends.
I think that it used to be. I think it still is like that for a lot of people, but I think it was more like that when we were in college.
Yeah, I think it's definitely shifted with Gen Z. Certainly, I think there's less of that pressure. I think. I don't really know that many Gen Z people.
Yeah, me neither.
I talk to about this,
but I think the moral of the story in this regard is that spontaneous fun and like finding a relationship is important when you're young and when you're older.
So,
like, take the pressure off.
Erin's tips for married couples with kids: how do you keep that spontaneity?
You have fun together.
Yeah, but like practically speaking, give the audience some practical steps.
Oh God. Well, go out. Like, even if it's just going to dinner. Like, we were just talking, and I can't say what I'm doing, but I'm doing something really grueling for work very, very soon. And I was like, we should go on a vacation, like just us. Maybe we'll take the baby just so that we can have proper help at home and don't have to stress about like our moms watching 4 kids. But like, just to go on a spontaneous trip so that we can be in the sun for 3 days before, like, you probably won't see me for a while, because I'm going to be really, really busy on this project. So I think it's like thinking about those things and making sure that the relationship is still nurtured and like you're still doing things together and not just getting wrapped up in life and every day, which is so, so easy to do. Like, even just Yeah. I mean, it's like the day to day, especially when you have a lot of kids. Like, I mean, even if you have two kids, like it's just one child, I think is a dream. I don't know why everybody doesn't just have one child, but it's just it's hectic. It's busy. It's like, it's just one thing after another. There's no time for rest or anything. So when you're like, okay, let's just go to dinner with a bunch of friends tonight, out of nowhere, you somehow find a babysitter, parents in town. Like you go out, you listen to music, you have a couple drinks. Like it's fun. You remember what you used to do together and like why it was fun.
It is amazing how when you don't have the distraction of kids and just the daily routine, it is easy to remember that when you could put yourself in that like in that situation, like a vacation where it's just the two of you.
So important.
Or a night out, even if it's with friends, but just without the pressure of got to do bedtime. If you have young kids, the diaper and the school and the water bottles and the snacks in the morning, like all the shit that we do. Because that's, it's impossible to remember you married this person, not just as a partner, but as a lover or, romantic partner, or a fun person.
As a friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also think that so spontaneity is important when you're meeting somebody, regardless of your age. Like even if there's pressure, I think even if it's online, like the spontaneous aspect of it is important. Have fun.
The online thing's tough because it's hard to be spontaneous.
But it can in the sense where you're like, okay, I don't know, because I never really did it, but like swipe right. Does that mean you like them?
I think so.
Okay. So whatever. You swipe to like catch the person.
We've just dated ourselves.
And you're old. I'm not that old. Okay. I just haven't gone on it. But like, okay, let's say you tap the person, you tell them that you like them. That could be like spontaneous. Oh, what are you doing tomorrow? Like, let's go meet up. And then without the pressure, I just think the pressure has turned like people who are looking for like the two guys that you met with even, right? In their 30s being like, thinking about like, oh, but will the spark come? And like, there's so much pressure. Like, well, just let it unfold.
Problem is that they were like the guy who was dating this girl for a few months who was saying that his pressure actually was more so felt because it was coming from the girl, understandably, because, women have, a biological clock to a degree. It's getting older and older now, but there's a reality to that you can't ignore. And so I think guys in their mid 30s who are dating women in their late 20s, young 30s, where that pressure is coming from them because they feel this pressure to, have kids soon. They don't want to wait too long.
Yeah, obviously.
And so it's that weird dynamic where the guy themselves, I think, they don't have.
I think guys still also feel pressure.
I'm not saying they don't.
Like, I think that's actually underrated. I think guys are like, especially guys in their late 30s, start to think about like, what am I doing? Should I settle down? What's who am I supposed to be with? Like, for sure. I mean, even my brothers are in their 30s. One of them is in the 20s, but the ones that are in their 30s are like, oh, like I really want to meet someone that I'm going to be with long term. They're all like long-term relationship guys. Recently, a bunch of them broke up with their girlfriends, but it's like they feel it. Like, how am I going to meet? Like, it's hard to meet girls now, and da da da. Like, I don't know why it's so hard for people to. I think we need to go back in time to like a much simpler way of meeting. Go out. Go outside.
Yeah.
Go out and
be social.
And be social. Like, just have fun. Talk to your friends. Go up to other people. Go play pool at a billiards. Like, go to a bar.
That's still a thing?
Yeah, we used to go play pool all the time.
Yeah, like back in the day.
Why wouldn't that be a thing?
People still go to like a billiards
hall?
Yeah,
it's really fun.
All right. Maybe we should do a billiards date.
Well, you just made fun of it. So now you want to do it?
I'm not making fun of it. I just didn't know that people still did that.
Why wouldn't they? Well, I mean, like, why would that go away? Pool's been around for so long.
That's true.
But I mean, we used to go to bathhouses. That's what my group of friends used to do.
Yeah, bathhouses are a special breed of fun.
A special breed of New York City kid fun. When you get bored and you want to splash around.
But there's got to be this added pressure when you're getting to that age because your friends are getting married. And so
100%.
It's not that easy to hang out with your friends who are all in couples if you're trying to pick up a girl or a guy.
Yeah, but you need new friends. Like, I don't agree.
So, okay, that's a good point.
Or you need new friends, yes. Or like, I love going out wing womaning with a single friend.
Do you?
Yeah. Like, I think it's so much fun.
Why do you do that?
No, I mean, think about how many of my friends were single, and I'm like, let's find you a guy. Like, it's fun to also watch them go through those stages of life that like you've already gone through. Like, I love that. I always get so excited when a single friend like finally meets their person, and then the bachelorette party or whatever it is, and they have the wedding. But I feel like you definitely need single friends if you're single, and also I think mindset is really important. Like, if you're constantly saying it's so hard, it's so hard, it's so hard. I've been telling my brothers this too. Like, it's just going to continue to be hard.
Yeah. The other thing I think it's hard to get around, but I think you have to train your mind is when you're older, your time feels more valuable and more precious because it is in a way. You feel the effects of time moving fast. And so if you're going to invest into a relationship, especially a monogamous one, there's that question of, is it worth investing in? Do I see something long-term? And then that mindset negates the spontaneity of just like, let's see how this goes. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I think that's the problem.
Yeah.
I know it's like a catch-22. I also think that just things in general should be more spontaneous. Like, I feel like we've lost that with, I don't know, with like our phones, or everything is so planned and like structured. Like, I used to just meet friends and they'd be like, do you want to go to Sundance? And I'd be like, sure, sign me up. Do you want to go to Cannes like this month? And like, I mean, I think if you're single and you have the flexibility, which a lot of people now have the flexibility with work, go do that. And even if you don't have the flexibility and, you know, you're in a long-term relationship and you have kids, like, it's healthy to just go on that vacation with your girlfriend if she asks you even last minute, like, or let's drive upstate and like have a night off. Like, people just need to be a little less regimented, I think. Like, especially if you're in a long-term relationship.
Go on.
If you're in a long-term relationship, spontaneity is the most important thing, not only like within the couple, but outside of the relationship. Meaning, if your girlfriend calls you and says, let's go for like a spa weekend, go. If you can do it, go. I mean, obviously there are limitations, like you're not always going to be available, but like, I think it keeps things spicy and healthy, and I think separation is good. And
so that's another thing of why long-term, of when they last, why they last, I think, is giving separation.
Yeah, that's a good point. So like long-term relationships, I think, do better. What you're saying is because you separate and like have your independence.
Yeah.
Because you're interdependent.
Interdependent.
I think also, like, when you're in a long-term relationship, let's like talk about some long-term couples that we think have like a good, I mean, Heather and Terry Dubrow have like, I feel like, a great relationship. Yeah. They're friends. Like, if you see them interact, you see that they're friends, but they also are very independent.
Yes.
Like, I was just with Heather in the Berkshires and she was on her own. Like, he wasn't in New York, and like, I had the best time with her, and I don't know, he's off doing his own thing, and they just like do their own thing. And it's very healthy, I think.
I feel like if you can make it to the other side in a marriage of when your kids get older and you can be more, you don't have to be home all the time because you have young kids you have to care for. That's got to be like the best time.
I know. I was thinking about that.
They're living it up.
They're living it up.
Teenagers, but with money.
Yeah.
And experience.
And I think like that's the beauty. And I think this is like really, I think this is like a lost sentiment where I think it's just really easy to break up. It's been like that forever. I mean, not forever. So? I think that it's really easy since like probably our parents, around our parents' time, to just get divorced. It's just like it's just easy to do.
I don't know if I agree with
I'm not saying that it's easy in the sense that it's easy to like actually dissolve and separate and all that, but like I'm saying from like a pragmatic standpoint, it's easy. You call a lawyer, people just get divorced all the time.
You think so?
Like, it's more accessible.
I feel like it's the opposite. Where
it's more accessible from like our grandparents' time. Like, it was hard for my grandmother to get divorced.
I see what you're saying.
That's
you're saying
what I mean.
Now in contemporary time.
It's an easy, like, you could Google divorce, like, and it's like, we'll give you a million options, mediation. Like, it's just an easier thing to do. But I think that, I'm not saying emotionally, but I think that it's kind of a lost thought of the next stage. Like people, I feel like don't always look at, like they feel the energy right now and they want change. But like if you actually have a connection or that spark or whatever it is that we were talking about before, the second half of life could be so much more fun. Because then, especially if you have kids and they're like starting their lives and whatever, it's almost easier because you can watch them start their lives together. But then you also get to like, have that second half of your life fun. Whereas like you had it in the beginning, the middle was like really kind of tough because you had to raise a bunch of kids and deal with the stresses of life. And then the second half of life could be really, really fun. I feel like people forget that.
And it's like, think about it. You're not just meeting each other for the first time. You've built a life together. So there's that deep bond of like going through the shit together. Right. And now you get to have fun together from that point of view.
Yeah.
And that's got to be the best. Like,
I mean, if people can make it through, there are many people that I think should break up and need to break up and like should not be together, especially some people now that I'm thinking of. But I also,
I know we're not.
No, like you probably know that are on their way, and it's like, thank God, But then there are other people that like I think of that are thinking about divorcing. I mean, we're in that age.
Which is weird. We don't have that many friends, like close friends that have gotten divorced, a few. But I wonder I guess this is the age that kind of stuff starts happening.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a strange thing, especially, it's got to be weird when you're friends with both people in the couple.
Yeah.
You hear about you have to take sides.
Yeah, you do. I've taken sides.
I mean, that's a whole separate topic of conversation, but it's an interesting one. But I feel like it's either divorce or cheating. People just get complacent, which is neither are healthy, especially when you have kids. So
what do you mean cheating?
If you're in an unhappy marriage,
yeah,
the solution.
Oh, the option you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, unless you figure it out. But I think you're saying what the easy thing to do is. I think divorce, you're saying people are quick to divorce.
Well, cheating usually leads to divorce.
Sure.
Yeah.
But not all the time, but yes.
I just think it's funny that like in the beginning of the relationship, you go from fighting about like, oh, you didn't text me for 3 days. What an asshole. And then, but not actually mad about it. Like you actually like it until the middle of the relationship, which is where we are, where it's like 3 days ago, I went to CVS and I bought like a pack of, Q-tips for the house. Like that's a you thing. And then to probably on the other side of it, where it's like, nobody's buying anything. You don't have to worry about them texting you late or whatever. Like,
you're saying if you're single?
I'm saying no. I'm saying if you can get to that end point in the relationship when your kids are growing, you're out of like the craziness, you're out of the growth stage with work, like you can get to that third stage. Like that's probably the best stage of all. The beginning is like fun and exciting and spontaneous and like, but it's a game playing a little bit, right? Then finally you get together. If you stay together, you go through hell, which is where we are. Not hell, but it's just hard. It's really hard.
You're in the shit.
Like you're
you have
in
kids,
it.
Young kids.
You're in it. And they're fighting.
It's
building business, like building careers, up early, sleeping late. Like it's just, I'm exhausted right now. So are you. Like our baby woke up at 5:30 in the morning. Abe got him because I was at the Knicks game with our older son last night till late. You woke up, you had shit running down your arm, like literally. And then like now you've been telling me like even on the elevator up, like, oh, don't forget our deal. Like I woke up with the baby, you slept in. So now like I'm going to have to put out or something. And it's just like.
Very clear. You offered these terms very clearly.
I just wanted to sleep. But it's like, that's where we're at. Like there's no spontaneity. It's like you promised that we were going to have sex because you didn't wake up with a baby. Like that's where I'm just saying like, it's not fun. I mean, it's fun, but we have to create the fun. There's no fun on a day-to-day basis.
Can I say something though? Because I think, and I get it obviously, but like there are moments that I feel there could be more spontaneity where it's like the tiredness.
Easy for you to
as
say.
a couple. It is. Look, I get it, but I think sometimes both people in the relationship have to remind themselves if the partner is trying to invite a spontaneous moment, sometimes, and this goes for me too, 100%, but just more yes, I think is healthy.
I'm sure what said every man in America. Like it really? Oh, more yes. Okay.
More yes.
And we'll take your advice today.
More
This
yes.
is in this context, I'm really going to listen to you next time and just say more yes.
I mean, why am I wrong?
I mean, please. But yeah, I think that the third stage is not talked about enough.
So
there needs to be a show. That's what needs to happen. A producer needs to come up with a great concept with a great cast of like Abe and I went to Aspen, and I don't know why I'm saying Abe and I, you and I went to Aspen in the summer, and we were like surrounded by men and women in their like mid to late 50s and 60s living fucking life. Like ATVing, hiking in the morning, going to these dinners, and like you could tell that their kids are grown or they, chose not to have
kids. The look
kids.
that we get from people like that, it's so funny because they're like, "Oh, you're still in
like
it.
Like dragging our kids, being like, "Get off the floor! We're going to dinner! Pull up your pants!" Like crazy shit. And they're like going and having this lavish meal. Aspen is a little aspirational, but just that stage of life is fun.
But the challenge is getting there, right? And most people, not most, probably half people end in divorce, right? I think that's the stat. But like, how do you get there?
Well, look, I'll say this because I know that I have more experience in this department than you, since your parents were together very happily for many years. Both my parents were single perpetually. And like my mom watching her date, I think I really learned so much of like what not to do and what not to look for. And my dad too, like I would hear him talk about relationships and I would learn like what really is a value to a guy and like what they are really looking for. And so I would
break it down actually if you're able to organize it. I'd love to get like 5 things of what not to look for.
Depends on if it's from the man or the woman.
Or both. I'm actually curious what your perspective on what you're going to say about the male side, but because you've seen both sides.
From the male side? Okay, so my dad would always say, look at where the person came from. Like even when he was dating women, like what, are they humble? Like what kind of relationship did they have with their parents? And I actually said this to Uva, like a regurgitated sort of tip that I heard from my dad when she started dating Oliver. And I said, look at how he treats other people and like where he came from. Like that could, because the way that he treats other people in his life, like his sister, his mom, whatever, that's going to translate to you. And she was like, that was such good advice because he really is like so amazing with his family. And I think that people forget how important it is to see how that one of the people in the relationship treats the other people around them. Like it could be that they're estranged from the family. It doesn't matter. Sometimes that's healthy, but it's like, what about their best friend? Like, do they show up for them? Do they call? Do they care? Like, because they're going to treat you ultimately the same way. So that was one thing my dad used to say. He also used to always say this to me. He used to go crazy when like a girl would be like, he would call it up my ass. It's like, this one, she sit on top of me, like, and it like stuck with me. And like, I'm really not like that. And not only because of him, but because I like need my personal space. But that's another thing. And I think women and men like should always remember that it is healthy to give someone in the relationship their personal space. Like you just need personal space.
And you also need your own personal space.
Yeah. Yeah, right. For yourself. And if you don't feel like you need it, then you should go to therapy. And what else did my dad would say about girls? He used to he used to say that it's really healthy. I mean, he taught us this as a family, but he used to say like, it's really healthy to go to dinners with your couple, like with your spouse or whatever, and just like have like deep conversations. And if a girl couldn't do that with him, he wouldn't stay with them.
Right.
Like just like a fun, long, like shut the restaurant down, talk about everything and talk about nothing all at once, Like, you remember when he went to Albuquerque? He couldn't say that word, Albuquerque. Yeah. But he had so much fun with that girl that he was dating at the time because it was just like, because it was just, he said every night they'd be sitting by the fire and like having these long, deep conversations. It was just fun. So I think that's the other thing, like engaging in just like healthy banter conversation from a guy's perspective, I think is important to them. And my brothers say the same thing all the time. They're always like, I don't know if that girl's going to be like deep or if I'm going to be able to really have a conversation with them.
You know what's funny is I feel like the stereotype is that guys are like these simple-minded, dumb brutes. Like from an emotional, deep conversational perspective, normally you think that's what women value the most, but it's undervalued how much guys actually do care about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think guys do. I think sometimes more than women. I think it depends on the person.
It does depend on the person, but I think, I don't know, I guess it's equal, right? I'm sure there are women who care about it, women who don't.
Yeah.
But I think the perception societally is that men generally don't care about that when it couldn't be further from the truth.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree. And maybe like try doing it before assuming that your guy, your boyfriend, probably if it's earlier on in the relationship, doesn't want to do that, Then from my mom's side, I'd say she's a special one, but she would say things like that were important to her, like, this guy, and she's a little more old school, but she'd say like, he never pays for dinner. She always makes you split dinner. And I get that. Like, it's because it's not really about like, we share money. It's not about that. But I think in the beginning, you want to be a little bit courted.
I fully agree.
Like a little bit,
It's a lost art. I think that ties into just what society, modern pop society pushes on gender roles. I think that is something that should still happen.
Like she likes it. But I'd say that for her in getting older, what I'd see is the biggest struggle she'd find in like finding another person is somebody who wants to live the same lifestyle that she wants to live at this particular stage in your life. Because the older you get, it's easier to just go into your own ways. And I mean, I feel like I'm more set in my ways now than I was obviously when I was in my 20s. Like I like my space. I like my bed to be a certain way. I don't let you wear jeans from the outside on the bed. Like there are certain things that you just start to get accustomed to. And I think it gets easier and easier to stay single because
you sweat the small stuff too much?
Not because you sweat the small stuff, but because you start to enjoy your life the way that it is. And then adding somebody new into the mix that like maybe does try to sit on your bed with their outside clothes on or, like wants to watch TV all night and you read in bed instead of like just the small things that you have to like learn about someone else. That's what my mom would say. I think for men, it's a little bit different. Because my dad never brought that up ever from his side.
I think men generally want companionship and relationship more than women. I think women could be more okay.
More independent.
I think men need it more than women.
Probably.
Which is counterintuitive, but like every guy I know, all my friends are the more like emotionally needy ones.
That's funny.
And that's all we need, really. Like we are simple in a sense that it's not a complicated thing, but it's a base need. Like man wants partner to have love, stability.
Is there a reason you're speaking like a Neanderthal? Man wants
love.
Man
wants love. Men just want to be loved, man.
I know.
That's all we want.
A bunch of babies.
But there is something to be said about the older you get, you're more set in your ways. The unwillingness to compromise, I think, can be something that deters long-term relationship building.
I agree. And also, like, I think it's the stage of life. So, like, my mom always talks about, there's this guy she really likes, but he doesn't have the means to travel. And she's like, that's all I want to do. So she likes this guy. We love him. We've hung out with him many times. And he's lovely. They're great together. They have dinners. They are friends. They date. But like he can't afford, even though he had a huge business, it folded, whatever. He can't afford to travel. And she's like, I don't want to live like that. That's all she wants to do is travel at this stage.
Look, and then it just becomes your choice, right? And if you have a value, this is just for anybody.
Yeah, but what we're talking about is that stage of life.
Right.
So that's those are the things that I think get tricky, that if you can get to stage 3, I mean, if the person's wrong, do not get to stage 3. Like,
I mean, for some people, stage 3 is like, let's stick it out until the kids are older and then let's happily get divorced.
Right.
And be friends.
Right.
Right. Like I see that happen too.
Really? I love that. I think that's great. I haven't seen that.
Love that?
I haven't seen that happen.
What do you mean you love that?
No, I'm just saying, I think that's great.
Interesting.
Oh, stop.
No, but you see people who are like, they've got a great relationship with their ex-wife or ex-husband and they coexist. Their kids are older.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. Louis C.K. has a great bit about divorce.
Does he?
It's the best.
Oh, he's divorced?
Louis C.K.?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I mean, now I don't know. This was like a older skit, but it was very funny. I guess the last thing for long-term success, we talk about this, is fighting. So what is your perspective on the art of fighting?
I think it's healthy. I mean, it's not normal to assume you're never going to get into anything with a human that grew up in a complete different household than you and in a complete different childhood and all of it. And then now you're living in a house together and you're supposed to, if you have children, raise children in a way that feels natural to you, but also to the other person. And like, of course you're going to get into things. Of course. I think the important thing is to like really I believe we've like kind of differed on this, but I think you're coming around. I believe in over communicating. Like, not to the point where you're talking about the same thing over and over again and then it's just becoming redundant and actually not healthy, but it's like as much as you can say whatever you need to say so that you can really just let it go. I think it's important.
Yes, but and I think somewhere in between where you and I are is the right balance I think we're getting better at getting there, but there is something to be said about over communicating where that, like if a guy is communicating something all the time to his wife or girlfriend about something that bothers him, he knows it's going to turn into a fight and it's like, you just want peace. Guys, I think, want peace in the home more than like resolving conflict all the time. So it's hard because men will just be more quiet and reserved and not over communicate. But if you're too reserved, that's not healthy too. And so I think somewhere in the middle.
Okay, so I'll tell you what the middle ground is. If your girl is like on her cycle and she's about to get her period, do not start picking a fight. That's what I tell you all.
What happens if she picks a fight with you?
You shut your mouth.
But then
that's no.
This is the catch-22.
Yes, well,
you
that's
shut your
the
mouth,
rule.
and
That's
then it's like what? You're going to bring it up after?
No,
the period's over?
no, you're just
shut. Shut up.
Yeah, that period of time is
this
sacred.
Is a good point. It's like it's not just that period of time though. It's like you're overtired, and it's like that cycle creates these conditions and conditions men to just shut up.
No, but I think no. I think men need to be. I think women need to over communicate more than men. And I think men just need to listen more. We're just more emotional. We're more.
Right. The way you're laughing.
It's true. We're more emotional. We're more, I mean, like there's like a physiological difference in the way that we handle emotion and stress. And sometimes just let it out and move on with your day. But like, obviously, if at a later date, there's something that really was like not okay. And, you know, it's going to come out in a passive aggressive way later, like talk about it. I think most women are open to listening and to change. I really do.
I agree.
Like women are
just, men have to be really delicate in how they approach it.
Yes.
And that's physiological differences too with men. You know, men are typically bigger physically. I mean, that's just biology. And so I think there's this inherent hesitancy for men to be careful about not coming off too aggressive, even if they're just passionately speaking. And so there's a delicacy which we have to really treat, you know, a fight or something that bothered us when we're talking to our women.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, does that make sense?
No, for sure. I think that's.
You want to say something. I see your face.
No. I think that like the whole thing is delicate, but ultimately I think it's important that you over communicate, especially when you have kids and like parenting styles and all that stuff. And also it teaches your kids to communicate with each other. Like last night, Layla was crying because she wanted to go to the Knicks game, which by the way, the Knicks game was epic last night. I cannot believe I brought Levi to that game. Yeah, like he saw double overtime. That hasn't happened in a long, like I think in years. Crazy game with the Nuggets. Oh my God. I'm more of a Knicks fan than Abe is. But she wanted to go and she was crying, and Levi said something really mean to her. And I was like, we're going to be late to the game because you said something really mean to her and you guys need to talk it out. And Layla, this is a perfect example of a relationship, okay? She was hysterically crying. She got really overdramatic. Her emotions took over. Levi was like, what? Like, huh? I'm like, Levi, what you said wasn't nice. So just admit that what you said wasn't nice. And he was like, I didn't mean it. Like she'd be like, you know, like being like a boy. And she was hysterical, running around the house. Like, but in that moment, I was like, you just need to apologize right now because you were the one that said something that really hurt her. And I made them talk it out and they resolved it. But there's just like different, I guess, reactions and different styles of resolution.
Yeah.
For, you know, men and women. And that was a good lesson for them to learn how to resolve.
Oh, you made me think of a point where I think one of the secrets to long relationships is when you're fighting, because I agree with you, women tend to be and should be more over communicative than men. And it's how the message is delivered, which will change how the message is received. Because men tend to shell up. It's like they feel attacked. I know this, you know that I'm talking about myself, but also I do think most men are like this, where over time, if you communicate about how to fight or how to have disagreement, that's the real value. Because something you say, if you have an issue with something that I've done or I'm doing, it lands so much differently if you come from a place or when you come from a place of, I know you didn't mean it, but just want to let you know, versus you did this, you do that.
Yeah, totally.
You know, it's your fault. Because you're saying the same, you're trying to communicate the same result, but it, you know, one version, I'm like, okay, I can hear you.
Yeah, totally. That's a good point. It's like how to approach the disagreement. That's like the major learning curve. Yeah, it's like how do you approach in your relationship, because every relationship is different. How do you approach talking about a disagreement that came up in a way that both sides will be receptive of and that you can actually like grow from? That is a very good point. So I'd say the art of fighting in long-term relationships is actually step one, which is figuring out how to even approach the conflict. So, hey, can we have a discussion because I was really upset last night, even though I know you didn't mean it, blah, 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 as opposed to, you motherfucker, you really pissed me off yesterday. Like, though, I think figuring out how your partner can be the most receptive and doing those things so that, or taking the steps to having that good conversation. And with that,
season 2 begins.
Season 2 begins.
Excited. And if you guys have any topics that you like to hear,
I'll do an AMA and you guys can let me know. Also, I have I don't know if we should say the guests yet, but we have really interesting guests. We've decided to mostly just speak about like our stuff and our relationship and topics that entertain us as a couple. But we also will have like a couple here and there, important, I think, conversations with people that are really inspiring, either in the dating world or health focused or whatever it is, or child, therapy, therapists and things like that, but few and far between. And we're excited about that part.
We sure are.